Which one? That?
Yep.
Are we on?
And we have to make sure ours are on as well.
Okay. Okay, we're calling this meeting to order. Thank you all for showing up. This is a good group of people. We're not used to this. But we're going to have our ballot draw. I'm sure this room will clear after the ballots are drawn. But you're welcome to stay afterwards. It's going to proceed this way. You've got a sheet here. The candidate list is compiled first by office and then by the filing date. So the ballot positions will be drawn in this order. Candidates who attend are invited to draw first, and even if their name is not listed first on the candidate list. Welcome. There's a handout over here on the table if you'd like to grab one. We should put those on the stand up there. Yeah. No, we're okay. There's hardly any more seats now. All right, anyway. If multiple candidates are present, filing order will be used to determine which candidate will draw first. A candidate may send a representative to draw in their place. However, candidates in attendance take precedence over the candidates who are not here. I lost my place. You can, okay, over candidate representatives. Thank you, Jim. A candidate or a candidate representative may only draw one time. If neither candidate nor candidate representative is present, the Election Commission will draw to determine ballot positions. Ballot positions will be updated on the Washington County Election Commission website after the meeting. Any questions? Okay, then we will start, and the first office is the U.S. Senate. Do we have any representatives to draw for the U.S. Senate? Send that over to Max, and he can draw for Natalie James.
Okay. Natalie James, position number 1.
Starts out well. All right, Jim, you want to draw for the Republican candidate, Senator John Bozeman?
Position number 2 for Senator Bozeman.
Open the third one.
Okay.
That would make Kenneth Cates number 3.
All right. Should I just spill that? You got to, oh, good, okay. All right, the next race is the federal office of congressman. We have 3 candidates for Congress District 3. The first is Lauren Mallett Hayes. And Jim is drawing for Lauren Mallett Hayes.
Lauren Mallett Hayes will be position number 2.
Jim, or Max, will you draw for Congressman Steve Womack?
I will. Congressman Steve Womack, position number 1.
Okay. And then the Libertarian Michael J. Kalagius.
For Michael Kalagius, position number 3.
All right. Okay, then we go on to the state offices. The first is for governor. Oh, we do have 3. I thought I only saw 2 there. Okay, the first candidate is Ricky Dale Harrington Jr.
Do we have any
Oh,
representative?
I just assumed somebody would jump up and go.
There is a
Bingo.
representative for Sarah.
There is one for Sarah. Okay.
Sarah Sanders, there's a representative, I thought.
Anybody here?
If you're a
Sarah?
representative for someone running for the state office of governor, please come up. Thank you.
Okay.
And when we get
Thanks
to
for
an
noticing.
office, if you're a candidate or representative and you see you're coming up, you can go ahead and come up here.
All right. You can open it
Open it up.
and
tell
show
us.
it up to everybody.
And this is for
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Thank you.
Position what?
3.
3. Okay. All right. Do we have any other representatives for these governor position? All right, then we'll have Max Ricky
Draw
Dale
for
Harrington Jr.
Ricky Dale Harrington Jr., position number 2.
Okay,
And Chris Jones, position number 1.
all right. Okay, the next one is Lieutenant Governor. Do we have any representatives for these candidates? None. So we will draw Kelly Ross Kraut for Lieutenant Governor. Jim?
Okay, Kelly Ross Kraut, position number 1.
Okay.
Okay,
Frank Gilbert?
position number 2.
Attorney General Leslie Rutledge?
Leslie Rutledge, position number 3.
I see we had some people come in. I hope you're not representing any of these offices we've already drawn the ballots for. We'll leave that. If you're representing somebody, give a shout out for us when that position comes up, please. Okay, we're gonna do Attorney General. If we don't have a representative, we'll do Jesse Gibson. Max will draw for him.
Jesse Gibson, position number 2.
2. And then Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin.
Tim Griffin, position number 1.
1. Okay. Now Secretary of State. We have 2 candidates. First is Secretary of State John Thurston.
Secretary of State John Thurston, position number 2.
Annabeth Gorman.
Position number 1.
All right, State Treasurer. We have 2 candidates. State Representative Mark Lowry.
Position number 2.
Pam Whitaker.
Pam Whitaker, position number 1.
Okay.
Put that back.
Yeah. We only have one of those. All right, Auditor of State. We have 3 candidates. The first candidate is Treasurer of State Dennis Milligan.
Treasurer of State Dennis Milligan, position number 3.
All right, Simeon Snow is the next candidate.
Simeon Snow, position number 2.
Okay. Diamond Arnold Johnson.
Diamond Arnold Johnson, position number 1.
All right, Commissioner of State Lands. Anybody here for those? We'll draw for Commissioner of State Lands, Tommy Land.
Tommy Land, position number 2.
All right, and Darlene Goldie Gaines,
Position number 1.
1. All right, now we move on to the state senate offices. And we have our first candidate here.
Hey, Clint.
Oh, I should have said your name, sorry. I just know you.
Clint
Position
Penzo,
2.
position number 2.
There you go. All right, and also State Senate District 31, Lisa Parks.
Will be
Is she here?
position- Nope. Position number 1.
1. Okay. All right, State Senate District 35. Any candidates or candidate representatives? Okay. First is Doug Peterson.
Position number 1, Doug Peterson.
Tyler Dees.
Tyler Dees, position number 2.
All right. State Representative, District 9. We have 3 candidates. Anyone? We got somebody here.
Okay.
Hello.
And you are representing?
She,
Oh, okay. It's been a long time since I saw you. All right. Open it up. And you can show back there.
position number 2.
Position number 2.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. Other candidates? Stephen Stilling, State Representative 9.
Okay, drawing for Stephen Stilling, position number 3.
3. And Deanna Hodges.
Deanna Hodges, position number 1.
All right. State Representative, District 11. Do we have a candidate or a rep? We have 2 candidates, Ray Hernandez and Rebecca Burks. Drawing for Ray Hernandez.
Ray Hernandez, position number 2.
Rebecca Burks.
Rebecca Burks, position number 1.
State Representative, District 18. We have 2 candidates, Representative Robin Lundstrom and Monique Jones.
Hello.
Monique. You can turn around and show people too.
Position 1.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Representative Robin Lundstrom.
Position number 2.
Okay. All right. State Representative, District 19. We have 2 candidates, Steve Unger and Paula Irwin. And Mr. Unger will draw first since he filed earlier. Whoops.
Position 2.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
You're next, yes. Paula Irwin is presumably position 1. Turn around and show it to people. If somebody wants to take your picture, they can take your picture. Thank you. All right. State Representative, District 22. We have 2 candidates. The first is Brian Hester, and the second is State Representative David Whitaker.
Brian Hester, position number 1.
Okay.
That'll make David Whitaker, position number 2.
It had better.
That would be a problem. Okay, State Representative District 23, 2 candidates, Kendra Moore and Ryan Hansen. Either one here? Either one have a representative here? Okay,
Okay.
this is for Kendra Moore.
Kendra Moore, position number 2.
Ryan Hansen.
Ryan Hansen, position number 1.
State Representative, District 25. We have 2 candidates, Chad Puryear and Caitlin Oxford. Are you Caitlin, thank you for coming. Position 1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Chad Puryear?
Son of a gun, it's 2.
Okay, now we move on to county offices. Okay. What? Oh, okay, here. You're, okay. Mr.
And
Deacons is ahead of you since he filed first. Justice of the Peace Patrick Deacons for County Judge.
Position 2.
Okay. Mr. Moody.
No kid.
Position 1. Thank you. All right. Justice of the Peace, Lance Johnson, position 1. And Sarah Hampton, anyone here?
District 1.
Let me get rid of that.
How you doing, Lance?
Position 1.
Position 1 for Lance Johnson.
All right. Sarah Hampton,
No.
you want to draw for her?
Position 2.
All right. Justice of the Peace District 2, we have 2 candidates, David Wilson and Roger Brooks. Either one here. Either representative. Okay? Max will draw for David Wilson.
David Wilson, position number 1.
Roger Brooks.
Roger Brooks, position number 2.
Okay, now we move to District 3 on the JP. Justice of the Peace Sean Simons and Justin Meeks, either one. A representative? All right, we'll draw for Justice of the Peace Sean Simons first.
Position number 2 for Sean Simons.
Justin Meeks,
Position
position
number 1.
1. Okay. District 4 of the JPs. We have Aaron Howerton and Fred Anderson. All right, are you Mr. Howerton? Welcome.
Sir,
See what you got.
See here. Position number 1.
Position 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Fred Anderson? Can you guess?
Position 2.
There we go. All right, District 5, Kyle Lyons and Dawn Kate Bonner. Anybody? All right. You gonna do Kyle
I'll do
Lyons?
Kyle Lyons, position number 1.
Dawn Kate Bonner?
Dawn Kate Bonner, position number 2.
2. All right. Next one, District 6. We have Justice of the Peace Lisa Ecke and Michael B. Mappa. Are you Mr. Mappa?
Position 1.
Position 1,
Lisa
okay.
Ecke.
There you are. Thanks.
Just pull that,
Yeah, take the clip off and
take the clip off. There you go.
position 2.
Position 2.
Oh, here,
Thank you.
thank you. Next JP position is 7, District 7. We have Charles T. Dean and Sherry Main.
Are
Mr.
you
Dean?
Mr. Dean?
I would be Mr. Sure. I can't get this in there.
Oh, they're a
We're making this
they're a
extra
little
hard.
tricky,
Tell your fingers fat one.
Position 1.
Charles Dean.
Thank you.
Well, let's lay it down there, it'll be all right, Charles.
Okay, there you go.
Sherry Main. I think you can guess. Should we have a drum roll?
Position 2.
Position 2. Thank you for coming.
That'll be all right, thank you.
Okay. Justice of the Peace, District 10. We have Justice of the Peace Robert E. Dennis and Amanda Foster. J.P.
Grab it
Dennis,
there.
help yourself. Position 2 for
Position 2.
J.P. Dennis.
There, sir.
Amanda Foster, thanks for coming.
Amanda Foster will be position number 1.
Okay. JP 12, we have Justice of the Peace Evelyn Rios Stafford and William Terrell. So glad to have you candidates.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Position 1?
Position 1.
Position 2, surprise!
Just maybe put it back in if you want to.
Here. Thanks. Okay. JP District 13, we have Justice of the Peace, Willie Lemming, and James Morphew. Either one. Somebody's got a phone call. Okay, drawing for JP Willie Lemming.
Willie Lemming, position number 1.
And James Morphew.
Position number 2.
Okay. Justice of the Peace, District 14, 2 candidates, Gary Ricker and Dawn Cannon. Are you Dawn? Welcome.
Right. Position 2.
Number 2.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
I'll let you go ahead.
That'll make
Gary
Gary
Ricker.
Ricker, position number 1.
Okay. All right. Justice of the Peace 15, Justice of the Peace Butch Pond and Ashley Hicks. Thank you both for coming.
I think you're first.
You're first. You are.
I know.
Number 1.
All right. Position 2. Thank you both.
Yeah, you put them back.
Thanks.
All right, on to the next page. We have municipal offices. Elkins City Mayor. We have 2 candidates, Troy Reed and Paul Graham. And you're Troy Reed?
Yes, ma'am.
Help yourself.
Position number 2.
All right. Here. Thank you. And Paul Graham?
Paul Graham is position number 1.
Okay. A different kind of paper on
We
these.
ran out of the yellow cardstock.
Okay, Elkins, Ward 1, Position 1. Our candidates are Anna Drake and Lindsay Watt. Pardon me? Anna Drake.
Drake.
All right, you're
Go
first.
ahead.
Position 2. Thank you. Lindsay Watt?
Position 1.
One. Okay. Elm Springs, Ward 3, Position 1. We have two candidates, Steve Roberts and Craig Overton. Anyone? Last call. Steve Roberts.
Steve Roberts, position number 2.
Craig Overton.
Craig Overton, position number 1.
Okay. Farmington City Mayor. We have three candidates, Mayor Ernie L. Penn, Council Member Diane Bryant, and Jared Fraley. You are?
Mayor.
Ernie, okay.
There's mayor right on his shirt.
Oh. Well, I was looking at his face.
Okay.
I got position 3.
Position 3.
Position 3, okay. Thank you.
Oh, we got one more coming.
Yeah, one more. And you are? Jared Fraley. Position 1. And Council Member Diane Bryant will be the last,
Position number 2.
position 2. Okay. Farmington, Ward 3, position 2, Council Member Shelley Parsley and Council Member Linda Bell. Linda Bell.
Okay, Linda.
Position 2 for Linda Bell.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
That'll make
Shelley Parsley.
Shelley Parsley, position number 1.
Okay. This is Farmington, Ward 4, Position 2, Jeff Oxford and Kara Williams Gardenhire. Are you Jeff? There you go. Position 2 for Jeff Oxford. That's fine.
I'm representing, here to represent Kara.
Okay.
Position 1 for Kara Gardenhire.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Stop throwing things at me. Fayetteville, Ward 2, Position 1. We have two candidates, Sarah Moore and Council Member Mark Kenyon.
Ms. Moore?
Position 1 for Sarah Moore.
Thank you.
Mark Kenyon. Okay, you want to draw that?
Kenyon will be position number 2.
Okay. All right, Fayetteville Ward 3, Position 1, Councilmember Sloan Scroggin and Scott Berna, either one. All right, fellas.
Right.
Sloan Scroggin,
Sloan Scroggin will be position number 1.
1,
Scott Berna, position number 2.
okay. All right, Goshen City Mayor. Two candidates, Sean Mayfield and Russell Stroud. Hi.
I'm Sean.
You get a green card there.
Position 2.
Position 2. Here, yeah, that's fine. And Russell Stroud.
Will be position 1.
All right. You got it. All right, Goshen, Ward 2, Position 1. We have two candidates, Councilwoman Paula Anderson and Joshua Tritt. Anybody? Okay.
For Councilwoman Paula Anderson, position 2.
Okay. Joshua Tritt.
Joshua Tritt will be position 1.
Okay. All right, we're staying in Goshen. Goshen Ward 2, Position 2, Bill Hewitt and Michael Thompson. Anyone?
All right, Bill Hewitt will be position number 1.
Okay.
And Michael Thompson, position number 2.
All right, Greenland, we have Ward 1, Position 1, 2 candidates, Diane L. Reed and Bill Groom. Are you Diane?
How are you, Diane?
It's a little hard when you've got 2 of them. It is.
Number 1.
Position 1. And you're Bill Groom?
I need to ask you a question. I am the current councilwoman. Should I go upstairs and ask him to add that? So
Well,
on the
it's-
agenda? It
we'll-
doesn't make any difference?
We'll get it on there, yeah. Here you are.
Just pull that off of it, the clip, there you go. Okay. 2. Number 2. I'll be darned.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to Greenland, Ward 2, Position 1. We have 2 candidates, Jeremy Dill and Travis Weisenhunt. Anyone?
Okay. Okay,
All right,
I'll draw for Jeremy Dill, position number 2. There you go.
you want to get used to this, don't you? This is for Jeremy Dill.
No, Travis Weisenhunt.
Oh, excuse me, Travis.
Travis.
Forgive me.
Travis is
Position
number 1.
Got it, thank you.
Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Another Greenland position, Ward 4, Position 1. We have 2 candidates, Gordon Pike and Mike Herman. Anyone?
Who you gonna draw for?
We can't, only one,
You can only do 1?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's the rule we set out in the front. Thank you, though. I appreciate your willingness.
All right. Gordon Pike, position number 2.
And Mark
And
Herman?
Mark Herman, position number 1.
Okay. All right, Lincoln, Ward 2, Position 1, 2 candidates, Terry M. Bryson and Jared Burks. Anyone? Okay.
Okay. Terry Bryson, position number 2.
Jared Burks.
Jared Burks, position 1.
All right. Lincoln, Ward 2, Position 2, 2 candidates, Mary A. West and Abigail Burks. Anyone? Okay. Drawing for Mary West.
Mary West will be position number 1.
Abigail Burks.
Abigail Burks will be position number 2.
All right, moving on to Springdale, Ward 3, Position 1. We have 4 candidates, Rick Culver, Councilmember Brian Powell, Mike Stevens, and Alice Gachuco-Collin.
You're Mike Stevens
Mike
and you're Alice.
Stevens. Oh. Position 1.
Stevens, position 1.
Yeah, show it.
I will. Show me.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
Out there,
you.
yeah, there you go.
For the camera.
For the camera, that's all right, I'll take care of it.
And you're Alice?
All right.
I know I didn't say your name right. Say it for me. I did? Okay. Oh, yay. Well, I have a name, Oschlager.
Yes.
Position 4 for Alice. Thank you for coming. Now we have Rick Culver.
Culver will be position number 2.
And Councilmember Brian Powell,
Councilmember Brian Powell will be position number 3.
3. Okay. Okay, Springdale, Ward 4, position 1. 2 candidates, Spencer Ordonez and Councilmember Amelia Taldo Williams. Anyone? Nope. All right.
Okay, we've got Spencer Ordonez is position 1.
Amelia Taldo Williams, position number 2.
Then we have Tawnytown City Mayor Joey Penalto and Angela Angie Russell. That's right, you have been, haven't you? It's the way you filed. Position 2 for Angie.
And position
Yeah,
1
next
for
time.
Joey.
Position 1 for Joey Penalto. Okay, we're coming down to the last page, y'all. Tawnytown, Ward 3, position 1. 2 candidates, Mike Washkowiak and Penny Baskin. Yeah, we let,
One.
we let one.
One extra.
Yeah, oh, you need that back, don't you? Okay, that's fine. All right, so you're drawing for Penny. Two again. All right, and Mike Washkowiak? Washkodiak? Okay. Is it misspelled on here, or
Not Kodiak,
No.
Kobiak.
Kowiak?
Kobiak.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Position
Mike.
1?
Washkowiak, position 1.
Thank you. I know how to say Oschlager, but not much else. Okay, West Fork City Mayor. We have 3 candidates. S. Heath Cottle, Ray Foster, and Steve Winkler. And you would be. Thank you for coming. Why don't you, yeah, it's too late. Why don't you explain that while he's drawing? Position 3. Explain it to everybody.
Should have.
Ray Foster. All right.
All right. So Ray Foster, position number 2.
Position number 2 for Ray Foster. Steve Winkler.
Position number 1.
1. Okay, take the floor. We've had several questions about putting a title, if you're already an elected official, on the ballot. So Jennifer, our election director, is going to explain that for you.
So when you filed, there was a place for you to put how you wanted your name to appear on the ballot. And unless you specifically put mayor or council member or councilwoman, councilman on that, we don't automatically put your title on there. So unfortunately, for those of you who maybe didn't put that on there when you filed, it's too late for us to add it onto the ballot.
But next time, if you run again, don't forget to put that with your name, the way you want it to look on the ballot. Okay, that is all the ballots that we have today. We appreciate your coming out, and we don't know how to act with all of these folks around, but we appreciate you coming. You're welcome to stick around. We've got a business meeting to do now, and for those of you who don't want to stay, thanks.
Don't feel obligated.
Yeah, oh, come on, feel obligated.
Don't feel obligated.
We don't put on a very good show.
We're learning since we do have it always videoed. All right. Should we take like a 5-minute recess here while people?
Kind of let it clear out.
Get out,
If they
yeah.
want to leave.
I had a whole Ziploc bag of those that I pulled off of a bunch of old election commission things. I'm gonna bring them. I meant to bring them today, but I'll bring them to you because I know you always need
Yes,
more.
yes, we do.
Glad that's over and it wasn't chaotic like my dream said it was.
Thank goodness that worried me.
I had a dream this morning. I went back to sleep for about 6 and I had this dream. And the dream was that this was all chaotic and crazy. Like my coworker. It was awful.
So
The
you
dream
had,
was
you,
awful.
Oh, man.
you had a morning mare.
Yes, it was a morning mare. And it was awful. I should have gotten up at 6. But no, I decided to go back to bed.
Go back to sleep.
Yeah, this isn't one that you would want to go poorly.
No,
You know?
not at all. Yeah.
Out of all of
Well,
them.
there's too many moving pieces.
Oh, yeah, definitely there are.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
You
like
did
it, but
good.
there are.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yep.
And I think
Well, sometimes you don't always know who the person coming up is either, and
Well,
it's
you
not
have to ask
clear.
them, yeah.
You have to ask them and make sure because otherwise it's not clear. They could be drawing for somebody else or
Right. I
You know.
appreciate a lot of them do have shirts now that say,
Yeah.
you
The
know,
name.
what office they're running for.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
kind of nice.
yeah.
But yeah, we were talking before the meeting about when the last time when you had to do it all.
Yeah, in the
and
snow.
we were remote.
Yeah, I know that was something.
Yeah.
And we were all
Yeah, I was
crammed
sitting
down
there-
there in
Yeah.
115
I'm
because we
sitting there
didn't
in
think
my
anybody's
little
gonna come.
office snickering. Well, I see how this is done now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you saw it that one. Yeah. Well, I was glad we got this room today. I was not sure.
Did you
Yeah.
see what they're doing downstairs?
Yeah, well, I
What are
walked
they
in
doing?
there
What are they
first.
doing?
What are they doing?
The circuit clerk is having part of their office redone,
Oh,
and so
yeah.
they have moved down there.
So,
have-
so our one meeting room now is
Exactly.
gone.
It is.
Yeah,
They
okay.
have promised they will be out of there by October the 18th, which is
Uh-huh.
good because we needed the end of October to canvass absentee ballots.
Yeah.
So hopefully there's
October
no.
the 18th. That's a while.
Yeah.
Pushing it.
That's pushing it.
Oh, they will. Okay,
Oh,
good.
okay, okay, good, good.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brian.
good.
'Cause that
I was a
We gotta
bit
canvass
concerned.
that was
Ballots,
pushing
yeah.
things
Where we're
for
gonna be.
us.
Brian comes right into the rescue.
Indeed.
Thank you for clearing that up about the name.
Yeah.
Because that one
People always ask.
candidate had asked, and
we
then they
should
kept
probably
asking.
put that in the remarks or something as a regular thing, because people ask that every election.
Right, they forget to put their title
Yeah.
in front of their name.
Does the form where they file and write their name specify that on there? I mean, is the process clear for folks?
Probably not. Yeah.
Is it? We should, I know it's not, we're not the ones doing it, but
No.
we may want to suggest that they make it more clear
Oh,
on that
good
form. Because this has
point, yeah.
happened before. People don't
Right.
necessarily know that that's the process.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
a little mini test for the voters.
It's a hell of a test.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, somebody might decide, well, I want to put Daffy Duck on as my
Well,
candidate
it
name.
does say you
It
can't
does
do
say
that.
you can't do
Yes.
that.
Elvis Presley.
Well, there is an Elvis Presley, so.
It specifies somehow, right? Like you
It-
could put current title, but.
It does. You can put current
not-
title, what you're elected to, and then if you have a nickname, there's a
Oh,
way for you to
yeah.
put it. It can't be just that. But there is definitely, and it also limits the amount of names you can put on there. So yeah. So, but I think too, sometimes it gets confusing because if someone is appointed to the position
Oh, yeah.
and then they're running for that office, does that mean they can put their title in front
That's
of
a
it?
good question.
So yeah. So
Yeah.
and I-
Yeah, and they might doubt that.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, well, let's move on to business. And the next item is write-in candidates. We have at least 5.
We do. So these are the write-in candidates who have filed notice of candidacy with our office. And so there will be 1 for U.S. Senate, and then there are 4 for governor, but there will only be 1 line
Right.
on the ballot or on the express vote.
So these are all candidates who have completed the proper process.
Yes.
To be writing candidates. Okay.
Yes.
You say one line.
Here, look at,
So if you look at
your
the sample
ballots.
ballot, you'll see that under,
Senate.
Senate and
governor.
governor, there's just 1 line. So we don't put like 4
Got it.
lines.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then for voters to be able to know who the write-in candidates are, it'll be posted in our notice of election, which is posted at the polling location. And then, of course, it'll be on our website. We also will add for the instant runoff ballots, and I'll talk to Becky about for absentee
yeah.
voting. How does an absentee voter know?
Right.
Because there's nothing posted there. So it may be something we just put a link to our website, because I don't think we should list the candidate
Right.
names, but just for more information for candidates, just go
Yeah.
to our website.
That's a good idea.
So,
Put on the machine, the voting machine, I can't get these names of these machines.
It takes a while.
It's got the names on it.
I'm sorry?
so
got it.
we can put on the voting machine, we could put like a link to our website so that if they've got a smartphone, then they can pull it up.
Oh,
If
but
they
it
don't
wouldn't-
have a smartphone, they could ask one of our poll workers to look at the notice of election.
Okay, so we don't put it on there or anywhere, we just,
We don't. I feel like it would almost give an advantage. You know,
Yeah,
you don't
I
want to
agree.
list
Power of suggestion.
a particular set of candidates
Yeah.
over another set of candidates.
Right.
But we can do the link, and then we can note where to look for it at.
Okay. And in some instances, they have to understand who these names are.
They do.
I mean, they can't just, they're not gonna write in, again, Daffy Duck.
Right, and we'll probably.
They will, but
They
they,
will.
shouldn't, and it won't be won't be counted.
Well,
Yeah.
good point.
how
Yeah.
do you voted on the voting machine?
On the express
Can you-
vote,
Yeah,
when you select that, it'll
Write-in.
say write in, and when you select it, a keyboard pops up, and then you typed the name in, and then when you print your ballot out, it'll show the name that you typed in.
Okay.
And then,
so if somebody's gonna go to the trouble of selecting that, and get a keyboard, when they select it, is it outlandish to think that it might show the names then? It shows the keyboard.
I don't think the programming will allow us to,
Yeah.
like, put that in that
With the
manner.
selection button.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't want it.
Trying to make it easier.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions on that?
No.
Okay, let's go on to unopposed candidates.
So, state senate and state representatives will appear on the ballot, and circuit clerk will appear on the ballot even though they're unopposed. Mayors will appear on the ballot. City clerk, this is, one that we thought we had fully gotten the law changed to not have it on the ballot. And if you'll look the last page of your information, there is a tiny little error basically is what it is, that in the first sentence, where I've got it highlighted, they have it removed. And in the, number 4,
Okay.
they have it removed in the first sentence, but in the second sentence, where it's in green, they left it in. And
Wow.
so,
So that was the cleanup. They tried
it was
to
a
clean up
cleanup
the
bill, and it did not get cleaned up. So
Wow.
because it's there, the
Yeah.
Secretary of State's office has been advising that we go ahead and place the names on the ballot. We went ahead and placed them on the ballot and made sure that it didn't bump anything
right.
like the issues to the other pages, because I would have made a suggestion that we not put it on there if it had changed some of the layout of the ballot. but fortunately, it all fits. That will need to be a cleanup bill because it's changed in the law where the statistical numbers that you need for city clerk, those two sections of the
Yeah.
law have changed to mayor now.
Oh,
Which
okay.
means so there's no statistics that you're gathering
Got
with that
it.
information. That's why they're listed.
Even though it's still in the law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that definitely is a cleanup that will need to be
Put
addressed.
that on our list.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
so,
Top of the list.
Yeah,
Those kind of things get a little sloppy.
yeah.
yeah.
And then, unopposed county offices, except for circuit clerk, JP candidates and constables will not appear on the ballot. And unopposed municipal candidates, except mayor and city clerk, will not appear on the ballot.
Okay, any questions, discussion on that?
And while we're looking at the ballots, I printed, we've updated the ballot from the previous meeting with the
Right.
actual wording for the amendments.
Okay.
And so everything still fits except for issue 4.
Four,
It will be its
yeah.
own page, so we only printed one of those. But just for you to just kind of glance through, everything else in the 4 columns fits on the ballot. And so this is essentially will be our layout for the ballot. The only thing that we changed from the wording that the Secretary of State's office gave us for the issues was that the ballot title was in all caps. We felt that that made it very difficult for voters to be able to read it on the ballot. So we've changed that so that it's not in all caps. And so that's the only change that we've made in regards to that portion of it.
They look good, Debbie. Doing a good job. And the fact that everything fits on the front back except for issue 4, if that is eventually there, we can handle it either way.
Yes. And we still kept the Washington County anchored on the back
Yeah,
page
yeah.
so that it appears in the same on every single ballot. And it appears in just one line,
You didn't get to see
one
these
column.
when we looked at them last meeting,
I did not.
but I think this is a really clean, even though there's a lot of stuff on it, it looks very clean
To
and
the extent-
compact.
To the extent that you can make this much information
Yeah, it's true.
trackable, this is.
Good point, yes.
The other thing Debbie did too is she went ahead and kind of pushed the names kind of towards the bottom so that it didn't appear, in the other ballots that I showed you, the name appeared more close to the top of the box and the oval appeared at the bottom and it kind of looked like it
Oh.
was floating.
Yeah.
So we made this little cleanup as well. Of course, this ballot is not accurate now. We'll go in and put
Right.
the names in the
Change.
order.
Yeah.
And so when we meet on the 7th, we'll have the actual proofs
Okay.
for you to approve, but this is just so you can see how we're proceeding.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. They look good.
Mm-hmm. It'll be more like that. Oh, absolutely, because this is muddy.
Yeah, I think so too.
I guess that was my question too, was, since the rest of the ballot is 4 columns, and, I mean, nobody's gonna read this. I don't think, do you?
Probably
they-
not, but the question, if you change it from bold to the same as
The rest of them,
the rest
yeah.
of, oh, okay. Same as this part up here, not
Yep.
the names on, of the candidates is a bigger font than that, but you're talking about.
Well, I think you're talking about the other issues, it would look like the other issues.
Yeah.
Make them consistent.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's a little smaller font, but I think it is easier to read than that bolded stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are not gonna approve these ballots because they're not laid out, or they don't have the names correct.
That's
So
correct.
we're just viewing
reviewing,
them
yeah.
and any suggestions that you all might have. I think you've done a great job. All right. You guys let me know when you're ready to vote and go on. I think they look good.
I'm good.
Yep, I think they look good too.
Okay. All right. Now, let me ask this, because you've got some sheets here at the front with copies of the issues. Are those for any particular?
So the main thing I wanted you to see was that this is what came to us from the
Oh,
state.
okay.
The ballot title was in
All
all
caps.
caps.
Yeah.
We changed that, adjusted it to not being in
Upper
all
and
caps
lower.
for the
Yeah.
ballot. But I think for the voter, it will be so much easier to
I
read
agree.
if it's not in all caps. It was just, it just all jumbled together on the screen. And so we think that that is a good move for the
Yeah.
voter, really.
Yeah, this looks like, I mean, you know what they say about, it looks like you're yelling when it's in all caps.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, y'all?
Yeah, I don't disagree. Have we done them in the past?
We've done it in the past where we took this, where it wasn't in all caps. I looked back at the 2020
good.
election, and we did it exactly like we have it here for
Okay.
this election.
We'll just need to triple check that the proper things are capitalized when we do.
Yes.
the-
Right.
And we will.
Right.
Yeah. When we lowercase it.
Okay, well, let's go on, unless you've got a reason to hover over this. Let's go on to minutes from the previous meeting. Have y'all had a chance to read those?
I only have one question.
Okay.
I guess the next to the last paragraph, the first sentence. Make sure I can understand what this is saying. Jennifer provided an update on additional precincts and to be added to the ballot. That "and" doesn't seem like that's the right connector there.
It's not.
Okay.
On additional precincts, it just really should just be additional precincts is
Yeah.
all it should just be. I'll remove
Okay,
that "and to be added to the ballot." I'll remove that whole line.
okay, and we'll, unless you've got other changes,
it.
we'll accept that one,
With the modification.
yeah, that one modification, a deletion, and then we'll accept the minutes as read, or as presented. Okay, got that. Update, or wait, what do we got here? Is this just a list of?
That's just a list from the Secretary of State's
Okay.
Office of the Candidates. I
Gotcha.
just had printed that out.
Okay. Update on limited early vote sites.
So we, I still don't have confirmation from Bud Walton. They are, they know that, that we're coming up to the deadline. They're just waiting on that finalization of the basketball schedule. So I think it's just gonna be a matter of which days, not,
Oh, okay.
not that we're not gonna
Yeah.
be able to be there, but just a matter of which days. I did receive a phone call from the Walton Art Center about possibly using their location as an early vote site as well. We went and met with them, and they have space available for us. They have several different rooms. I didn't know if the commission was interested in adding that as a limited early vote site. We looked at doing it October the 31st and November the 1st. If the commission is interested in adding another limited early vote site,
What do we have in
so
proximity?
so we won't have anything in proximity those 2 days. So only the courthouse. So the Fayetteville Library will be the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th.
Okay.
So that'll be the first week.
Okay.
And then Rise Physical Therapy, which is over by the Walmart Neighborhood Market,
Right.
will be the Friday and Saturday, which is the 28th and the 29th.
Okay.
And Bud Walton is still not known.
Are you, do you have an approximate on Bud Walton? I mean, they haven't given you anything
Is it
that
the
would.
second week? Yeah, which week?
Yeah, that's what I'm
I think
thinking.
it will be the first week. I know it won't be the second week because the second
Oh.
week is their homecoming.
Oh.
Good
So there's no
point,
way
yeah.
we could be in there Thursday, Friday, or
Right,
Saturday
right.
because of homecoming. So, which makes me think that if we're going to be at Bud Walton,
all, yeah.
hopefully it will be in the first
Right.
week. But
Yeah.
I know for sure we won't be in there November 5th
Okay,
since that's homecoming
Yeah.
weekend.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and the increase in traffic before homecoming, I would suggest that whole week, we might want to avoid that area for, mucking it up with other voters and stuff.
Well,
The first week in November.
at Bud Walton.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean,
and they
that'd be one more reason not to do it during homecoming, because things get so tight in there.
So what would be the days you would propose for the Walton Arts Center?
Walton
if
Arts
you were
Center
going to do limited early
Would be
vote?
Monday and Tuesday.
The 24th and 25th?
The 31st and the 1st.
Oh,
October the 31st.
What about toward the end of the time, the 2 weeks period? Like what days do we have?
so-
what early vote sites do we have open or limited early vote for like the second half of the,
The
second
second
week?
half of the week, we only have Lincoln open. It is more difficult for us to have limited early voting the second half of the week because we're actually using the equipment. We're delivering the equipment that
Oh,
we're using
right,
for the
yeah.
limited early vote.
Yeah.
So that's, it kind of eats into what we have available and drivers, delivery, and setup.
yeah.
So anything, we start delivering on Thursday. And so trying to open up a limited early vote site, Lincoln we can do because Lincoln is
It's
a
way
permanent
off, yeah.
site.
Yeah.
And so Lincoln stays open, so when we deliver and set up, it's set up. So Lincoln makes it really easy for us to do. That's why we thought the 31st and the 1st for the Walton Arts Center might be good. We know that during 2020, having Bud Walton open really helped the traffic here at the courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
And we think that Fayetteville will help with the traffic here at the courthouse. The courthouse is still the most
Sure.
visited
Right.
early vote site that we have. But if we can offer other alternatives,
Yep.
it helps here as well.
Because I mean, by any stretch, the parking here is rough.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Especially when it's
Yeah,
busy.
you're right.
Um,
Yeah,
I mean, having other early vote sites that second week is help. People start to tune in more, and think
that's true.
think about it.
Yeah,
So I understand though about having to deliver equipment
Yeah.
and toward the end of that second
Right.
week.
That's
So
why
you would say the second week, but at the beginning.
at the
31st,
beginning,
then the second.
right, the 31st and
And
the
the first,
1st, I felt like could be good days for us to be at Walton Arts Center if the commission was interested in doing it there.
Their parking is outstanding. I mean, they've got great, big parking lot there. But as far as everything else is concerned, as far as the location, I mean, I'm sure they're okay ADA wise. But
oh, yeah.
where would the room be? Would the room be down a hallway or?
So, when you go into the Walton Arts Center, if you go up from Dixon Street and you go up the stairs and you go into that main lobby,
Which you wouldn't if you were disabled.
right, so there's there'll be, I'm just trying to
Yeah,
get the layout
yeah.
of the
Yes,
room
layout,
for
yeah,
you.
that's what I
Okay.
West.
So
yeah.
on the right-hand side, as you go down those stairs, there's a room probably half this size, maybe or a little bit bigger, that they would let us have.
Okay.
So it would be self-contained, we'd be able to lock everything up, we would
Okay.
only be the ones who have access to it. And it is on the same side as the other entrance that they have, which is off of, what's the street that goes?
Yeah.
West Street.
West, yeah.
It's, that's the entrance they would open up for us, is to,
That's facing that big parking
Mhm.
lot anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the entrance they would open up for us, and so for ADA purposes, it makes it really easy to
Yeah.
get in there. So it's just, I didn't know,
Would you want to do Walton and Bud Walton at the same time?
well, see, because I don't know the dates for Bud
Yeah,
Walton
yeah.
yet, I don't know, and,
But would that, I'm wondering,
What's our
I mean,
dead- I'm
it's
sorry.
early in the week, but is it also, I mean, it's two sides of the campus, I guess, theoretically. Maybe not completely, but,
Well, they're
you know.
pretty far apart.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, they
far enough apart that it could be done. Is that the kind of coverage that we would be able to accept on the same days?
oh, yeah, I think so, having enough staff, if that's,
Yeah.
if that's a concern, I think we would have enough staff,
Okay.
because I think Walton Arts Center, we could run with 6 poll workers, it's,
Okay.
you know, it would be you would get the people who maybe see a line here, or don't wanna
Right,
park here,
right.
or are eating lunch down on Dixon Street, or whatever, maybe wanting
good
to come
point.
in and do it. And of course, Walton Arts Center will help us promote it. You know, that always helps too. It'll be on their media pages. It'll be on their, you know, things that they put out that
Right.
they would be having early voting at the Walton Arts Center, much like Fayetteville Library
Right.
kind of helped us promote it as well. It's, you know, it's another opportunity for us to have voting
See if it works
at
there.
another
See if it
location
works.
to see if it works.
Yeah.
Try it. That's kind of been our strategy. I mean,
Yeah,
try it
right.
and see what works, see what doesn't work.
I kind of like having it in two places like that.
Different
At the
days.
same, no,
Aren't
I'm
they
thinking
different?
at the same
Well, you don't even know
time.
that you're gonna have one.
We
Yeah.
don't even know we're gonna have Bud Walton.
Right.
I mean, I think we will,
I
but
mean, we
it's
will,
just.
right? We've got to have it. It's great. Best bowling location. I mean, it's fun,
Depends on the
you know?
basketball
Yeah.
schedule.
It's the-
Basketball
just-
Palace in Mid-America. Come on, you know?
It's just that darn basketball schedule.
Yeah, what's wrong with them after all?
Surely, I
It's
mean, we
not-
can work around it, though,
It-
right? They're not going to have that many games back to back.
No,
at
no,
Not
one
that
season.
soon.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. They just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not public.
And we have a deadline that we have.
Right. What is our
What
deadline,
is
by
our
the way?
deadline?
It's September 7th.
So
Okay.
we've got
We've got a little time. They know
little
it's
more
coming
than
up.
a week.
They do, yes.
That's coming soon.
But if we had, I mean, are you suggesting, that, whether we get Bud Walton or not, we may wanna get this Walton Arts Center?
I think it might be
Yeah.
a good, I mean, it's a good location for us. It'll help pull some traffic out of the courthouse possibly. So I think, you know, I definitely think it's something to look at now, because not only do we want to look at this election, but I always feel like we need to
Future,
look at
yeah.
2024. Because
Right.
that's when we know
Mhm.
that we will have so many more voters, just from the growth and just because it's
That could be a
presidential.
sweet spot
Right,
right there.
right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm for it.
say go
Yeah,
for it.
I agree.
Is
Why not
2
try it
days
and
enough?
see?
Yes, in the sense that we're testing it, we'll get a
Right.
good feel for it. Anything pushing past Wednesday is
yeah.
too difficult for us because of deliveries, with it being
Okay.
in this. And then this way, if this works at Walton Arts Center, then we can look at setting date, because right now, they
Right,
contacted me.
right.
I didn't contact them. They reached out to us to see if we would be interested.
Mhm.
But, so their calendar is limited as well
Oh, yeah.
as to what dates
Right.
they would have available. So we kind of looked at their calendar to see where we could fit in some dates. But if we thought that this was a viable solution, that doesn't mean we couldn't get on their calendar in 2024 to kind of set some dates, possibly, if we thought it was a good fit for us.
Okay, so you think 2 days is a good test, gives us some idea of how it would produce? Okay.
Yeah, and it's, RISE Physical Therapy, we're only there for 2 days. We get a good turnout at the RISE Physical Therapy. The Fayetteville Library, I suspect will get good turnout there. I did visit with the Springdale Public Library. They were interested in possibly letting us be there. At first, it was an election day site, but since we're fully being Archer, it doesn't make sense to be
Yeah.
at Springdale Library on election day. We cannot get a room nailed down. The space that they had for us was open, and the library doesn't close until 8. We close at 6, which would mean our equipment would be out
Yeah.
for
No
anyone
way.
just walking through the library, not
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
And so unless they could offer us a space that we could lock up each night, I just don't think the Springdale
They're
Library
really-
will work.
They're really closed in. I mean, they've expanded it nicely from when we first came here, but man, they just don't have any good meeting spaces.
They have one space, the Shiloh Meeting Room, which would work for us for
Oh,
early vote.
okay.
But availability wise, I just don't think they can
Yeah.
meet what we need
Yeah.
there at this point. It doesn't mean that in the future they couldn't, but because I don't want to forget Springdale. I don't want to just be
Right.
like opening pop-up sites
Sure.
in Fayetteville and not think about Springdale. But we're just limited in the
Yeah.
places
I mean,
in Springdale.
we want to open sites in Springdale,
Absolutely.
and we talk about it, and we've talked about it at so many meetings. It's just really difficult finding the infrastructure in different places up there.
There used
I
to be
mean,
so many more meeting rooms.
yeah,
People don't meet anymore.
people meet. There's
Coffee
just not the
shops.
facilities to do
right.
it. I mean, it's good to talk to the library now if they ever have a big
Yes.
bond issue and expand it significantly.
Yeah,
Just putting the bug in their ear about
right.
extra meeting rooms and space. I mean, we looked at everything over there near Arvest and all the developments.
Well, and we didn't get a very good result at the Shiloh.
At Shiloh,
what's
we
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that was real disappointing.
It's just where it's located.
Yeah.
Unless you know where the building is, you don't necessarily know
You drive by and ignore it.
exactly how to
Yeah.
get to it. That's why some of the locations when they call, like Walton Arts Center, is right on Dixon Street. It's very known. It's very easy access. So
Well, talking about Springdale again, I mean, we took a serious look at the
American Legion.
American
Yeah,
Legion. but
yeah.
It fell through because of
ADA.
ADA.
Right.
Well, the
'Cause
ADA
that was
was
the-
there.
the
It's
parking
just a
was-
long-
Was
it's a
way
long track,
away.
around the building, and
Yeah.
then there was some issues with maybe parking, was there?
Yeah,
So the ADA parking at
it was across the,
Yeah.
Was that the
Oh,
deal?
the
I didn't
street.
hear it.
Oh, yeah,
Back
you
end
were
of the
not-
buil- It's on the other end of the building from the.
yeah.
yeah. the
We were
entrance.
thinking we could do our ADA parking along the side of the building. There were plenty of parking spaces,
Yep.
but there's no cutout in the curb.
Oh, so it's not.
So
really
it would
ADA
not meet
accessible.
ADA requirements,
Yeah.
and so it kind of pushes it to the back of the building,
Got
which
it.
puts it a little bit further for a voter to have to come. So,
But it still meets the.
it
requirement.
would meet the requirement, and so one of the things with the Walton Arts Center, if you think about it, their ADA parking will be across the street.
That's true,
However, the Walton Arts Center has offered to give us, they have on their side of the building, they have dedicated spots that belong to the Walton Arts Center. They're going to give us 2 spots for ADA parking there, so we can actually have ADA parking
On the same side.
on the same
Oh,
side
good.
of the street.
Well, let me
for-
ask you
for
this,
voting.
because I
Cool.
feel like in the distant past, did we not construct or talk about constructing ramps in places where that was, or I know we had the rubber mats on some, was that on some gravel parking lots? Have we eliminated that completely?
Oh, no, we
Oh,
still
we're still
have to,
doing it.
we
Okay.
still have to, in order to keep those rural polling locations open, we have to take the mats out
Okay.
to make them ADA
Okay.
compliant. The type of ramp, though, that I think to make that cutout possible for like the American Legion,
Right.
I would worry that if, I don't know, the cost might be prohibitive,
Right.
but also I feel like we
Safety.
would set ourselves
Yeah,
up for if it didn't lay right, if someone slipped on it.
Right.
I feel like,
That group always does that audit. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, that's
often,
right, yeah.
and we've gotten that
Yeah.
before of the sites.
Right.
And when we try to make it ADA compliant,
Yeah.
sometimes, their position is that we didn't.
Yeah.
When we try to open
Right.
a place like that.
Right.
And
Yeah. That.
it's too bad that curb exists like that. I mean, for folks going to the Legion as well.
well, that's what we thought
know?
too. And I don't know if maybe it hasn't been an issue until construction started on right across the street. They're
Oh, yeah.
they're doing construction on the police building there, and there's ADA parking there that would be similar to what you would find at Walton Arts Center, where you just park and it's just right across the street. It's a little bit closer, but because of construction, those sites are all
Oh, I see.
blocked off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So once that construction is finished, would that then become a more favorable site?
Do we know how long that's going to be?
I don't know. I would say not
Not this year.
by this
Yeah.
election. And for technical purposes, if we were to look at the American Legion for a pop-up early vote site, we would be making it ADA compliant because we would be providing ADA parking.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about ADA parking, there isn't anything that talks about how far away it is.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I just felt like it is kind of far away,
Yeah.
but we would be providing ADA parking for that site. It just wouldn't be right up next to the building.
Right.
So
Just not the
that's
most
just something
ideal.
to think about. Yeah.
Well, the only thing I would say is that I heard the conversation that we're, looking at places, and we're trying to expand and get more spots, and we're having a difficulty with Springdale.
Yeah.
And maybe we need to be a little less stringent and, in order to have Springdale locations.
Well, we do have Archer.
Yeah, well, for a limited early voting like the
Okay,
pop-up,
yeah.
we don't. And we can, I mean, American Legion would be ADA compliant if we wanted to look at it, and I can check with the American Legion to see if they had in that first week any
Oh, okay.
any time for us to be in there. The other place I thought about too in Springdale is maybe the Jones Center might have availability for us for a couple of days. It's a little bit further away
Right.
from Elmdale.
Close to the rodeo.
It's close to the rodeo, and maybe that might be a location too, and I can certainly look at it.
Have we not, we've looked at that in the past, have we not?
We have, the
Yeah.
problem at part of the time was, and I don't know if they're still there, Haas Hall had
Oh, yeah,
opened
that's right.
a school inside the Jones Center, and it was kind of, they just didn't have the
Yeah.
space, and then security, we kind of, it
Well,
would
that
be
may have
intermingled.
changed since they opened their big.
And it may have, I don't know, I haven't looked at the Jones Center
Yeah.
What's anybody doing with the building that they used to be in?
in Springdale.
That's not in Springdale.
It's in Fayetteville.
It's commercial now, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It is.
Well, it's good to also think about, along Emma there, all the development that they're doing, some of those buildings. If there's any opportunity in any of those buildings in the future.
We happen to know a former commissioner who owns property there. Can I say Apollo,
Yeah.
among other places?
Yeah.
Does it
Yeah.
have parking in the back?
Yeah, it's got a lot of parking
Okay.
in the back, but I don't know how ADA compliant it is.
And I feel like maybe if I can go back and look for the American Legion and talk to Joe and see what availability they have, maybe for
Yeah.
limited early voting, it
Sure.
would meet the ADA requirements.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but
But it would meet it.
a little bit.
And
does need-
and maybe we just need to suck it up for now and do it and see how it works. And it may, I mean, if it doesn't produce any better results than the Shiloh, Community Center or whatever that's called, then maybe it's not something that we continue with, but we give it a try.
That's what I'm.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll check and see if there's anything else along, Emma. Okay, is that all you want to say about all right, we're gonna have to nail these things down by next week, right? By,
Well, we gave
well,
you-
September the 7th.
We gave an answer on Walton Arts Center, right? We're good
Yes,
on
my takeaway was that to continue
Okay.
pursuing Walton
We'll
Arts
make
Center.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Okay, set meeting date to review absentee and write-in procedures.
I didn't know if we'd want to do that today, but I thought maybe if we met next week, we could kind of clean up some things, follow up with that, and I can give an update, on what maybe if I found out anything about these
Oh, good, yeah.
American Legion.
Yeah. You guys got a date in mind next week?
To finalize, or for, next week.
To review an absentee and write-in procedures. That's gonna have to require some time, isn't it?
So.
Yeah, what is that item?
So basically, I want to talk, kind of go over, this has to do more with election night and go over our remaking of ballots,
Right.
what it's going to take for us to do that, and kind of lay out a plan so that we've prepared the plan now and not November 8th.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of get that out of the way so we don't forget about
And
the
we
problem
need
with
to,
that.
we need to really scrutinize that because the public is watching that, and if there's any misstep that we make in that process, it's gonna be glaring. And we don't need that.
And that's the area where you can, where you do have to be extra
Yeah.
careful and do make sure that you count. So I just thought maybe a separate meeting with that, just to kind of go over that and any updates I have. Because hopefully I'll have the precinct information and the billing done for the primary
good.
and the runoff election, and we can just take care of all of that.
Okay. What do you got, guys? Any
My-
thoughts next week?
Mine's my standard week. I'm not available on Monday, Wednesday, or Friday morning.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm available.
Yeah, I think I'm tied up on Friday. I mean, it sounds like we could do Tuesday or
29
Thursday.
or September 1st. And remember, we're moving into Labor Day weekend after that.
Yeah, I mean, we could do Tuesday if that works for you guys.
29?
Or the 30th. Right?
Oh.
August the 30th.
My bad, the 30th.
Right.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
August 30th, what time?
9 a.m.
Okay. Jim, does that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, let's set it on August the 30th, 9 a.m. We'll have to be in this room.
Yes.
Are you gonna set it up, or can you set it up, Jennifer, really, outline the whole process for us, really basic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Like, here's
And-
how it's gonna go,
Yeah, and
very
it really
basic,
needs to be
like we don't know
defined.
anything about it.
Okay.
Totally
Because
defined.
that's helpful then to be able to kinda,
Yep.
for our edification and,
Right.
folks watching
Right.
or attending,
Yeah.
or,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
that helps then to kind of think through it and work through it.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, precinct update.
I have been working with Daryl, who is now the county's GIS person, and he should hopefully have the maps and everything ready for us for the commission to sign. These are those precincts created for the city of Fayetteville,
Right.
but we actually need documentation that we've created those and shape files. So hopefully I will have that for us
By
at
the
that Tuesday
30th?
meeting. Yes.
Okay,
I will let Daryl know.
okay. nail it down. Okay, purchases for the general election, which is fast upon us.
Yes. So I didn't have anything prepared for the commission, but, we do have money in our budget that we've set aside for express votes, and
right.
poll books.
Yeah.
And so I thought about purchasing 3 express votes, but without the kiosk. You know how I have the one that's not in the stand, it's just it sits on my desk, or on the desk.
Table.
If I purchase 3 of those without the kiosk, it'll be $12,000. The kiosk itself is $1,000 a piece for each of them. But if without the kiosk, it gives us a little bit more flexibility in the sense of if we needed to transport one without using a truck, it fits in our
yeah.
car. So if there's ever an emergency where we need to take,
You gonna make us hot?
No, I'm turned off out there unless you want.
Oh, no, we're okay. Thanks.
So if we ever needed to transport one without a truck, this gives
Yeah.
us the availability to do that. And then we can also use it, it would free up some of the ones with the kiosk because,
yeah.
for instance, at Central and Elmdale, the ones I set up as their provisional one, they have the space to actually set it on a table with a privacy screen. And so then it frees up the ones with the kiosk. So I just
And you just put the ballots after that, you put those in the provisional bags anyway, right?
yes,
If they're sitting on, by the supervisor.
yeah,
So there's no concern about it being left laying around.
right. The kiosk is just the
box,
booth, the
yeah.
thing that it stands in. But you know, after us not being able to get into Archer until 7:25,
Yeah.
and we have one of those, but giving us a little bit more flexibility to deliver an express vote if we needed to at a site. I was thinking to order it without the kiosk. And so we could order 3 of those, and then I believe we need 6 more poll books with printers. Right now, we have just enough, and if they're coming to fix the ones that have broken on us, but this gives us more flexibility with the poll books. I feel like check-in procedures, that's where we've tended to need more poll books. And in particular for the supervisors too, they get bogged down with address changes, provisionals, and it gives us the more flexibility to have poll books for our 2 poll books at our big sites for our supervisors. So that would be about $25,000 for those, which we had budgeted for equipment.
You're talking both express votes and poll books, total of 25,000.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And then we need to purchase some more ADA signs and posts, and that altogether will be a little over $3,000
More.
for that. We purchased the ones that were kind of the stand-up ones, the cardboard and stuff, and we've been using those and we'll continue to use those. But we really feel like they're at the end of their lifespan.
really?
And so because we've had to rearrange how we do our trucks, how we store things, we're thinking of just doing the standard cement block with the
Gotcha.
stake or with the
Okay.
post and the ADA signs. And so to make us, you know, in ADA compliance, it's about $3,100. And then stylists, even
I thought
hate
we
to,
reused them.
we are, but we only have 30,000 left.
What was the shrink rate?
It was still pretty high.
Was it pretty high?
Yeah.
Because when I voted, folks from there,
And they
were
are,
asking for
and
it.
yeah. So I feel like we need to purchase another 30,000, and that dollar amount is $6,000, which
Wow.
just hurts
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
think about how much that costs. And then that leaves us the ability to send, because we need to send 30,000 out on election day. Because the sites need to have as many, because it's harder for them to recycle and clean on election day. But so that gives me enough to send out on election day, but during early vote, we can recycle and clean during the 2 weeks, but that gives us enough to kind of, spread out to all the different early vote sites.
Yeah.
And then, Wi-Fi's, we need to replace about 20 of our Wi-Fi's. We've had the little box, the little Wi-Fi box since, I think 2013. So they are,
It's pretty good to run.
they are ready to be replaced. We think
Technology's better.
it is,
Yeah.
and we think that some of the lag we've had sometimes, if we notice with the poll books and the printers, we think it may be the Wi-Fi
Sure.
is lagging a little bit, and I'm looking to get pricing for those. I can get refurbished ones without a contract. That's the tricky part, is getting them without the contract, for about $100 a piece. So that'll be about $2,000. So all together, that's $3,600. $36,000 that we would need to spend, and we have roughly, let's see, I think $58,000 in our small budget and small equipment line. Yeah.
Okay, so, do we have any expenses that, do we have any places where we might suddenly need extra?
We have one, not that I am aware of at this moment. We do have where we're going to have to go to the quorum court, and I feel like rather than having to take it out of our budget for general supplies and small equipment and ask the quorum court for $14,000 for our software support, because remember, we had talked about that bill came in so much higher than we had anticipated and budgeted for a year ago without any notice.
Didn't we ask the state for some support on that too?
They won't.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're at so we will have to ask the quorum court for that money to be reimbursed to our budget. I don't want to take it out of our general supplies and small equipment. But even if we use the $36,000, that leaves us with $23,000 in small equipment and general supplies, which I think is enough to pay
It's a
for.
cushion, a good cushion.
It is. We still have like sample ballots to I think it will be enough for all the other things that we need throughout the remainder of the year. It hurts me to spend that money when I said and added it all up. I always hate getting close to that, that number, but I do feel like it's important for us to purchase these things.
How soon do we need to go to the quorum court to ask for the extra funds?
Before the end of the year.
Oh,
So
okay.
At some point,
Okay,
yes.
but this is
I'll need
not
to
gonna
talk.
affect our budget.
No.
That they're considering our budget next Tuesday night.
Oh, okay, okay.
No.
No, okay.
How many
ahead.
sites do we have that don't have DS200s?
We have 3 sites that don't have DS200s.
And those are rural, right?
That's Evansville, Weddington Community, and Rays Mill.
How much are DS200s?
They're
Have we thought
over
about,
$5,000.
Have we thought about getting any more?
So
I always ask about
you
this.
do. You
I
always
want-
ask. You always ask.
I like the idea of counting the ballots every single location.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the last time that was the holdup.
That's right,
It
that's what it
wasn't
was.
those sites.
It was one of
Weddington?
them.
It was Weddington Fire.
It was.
Oh, Weddington.
No,
They
Weddington
didn't have
Fire.
a DS200,
No,
did they? Because we
so
had to count the
there's-
ballots when they got back.
So there's Weddington
Yeah.
Fire
Right.
and Weddington Community.
Uh-huh.
And Weddington Fire was the late
Gotcha.
place, but Weddington Community, we had already had their ballots counted and everything.
Didn't we have to count the ballots when we got them back?
Not for Weddington
We
Fire.
didn't, okay.
No.
maybe I missed, maybe,
We
maybe,
just didn't get the sticks
yeah,
in a timely
maybe that,
fashion.
that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So we have always been able to have those 3 sites counted well before
Oh,
we are
yeah.
finished with
Okay.
the other sites. So I've not had a sense of urgency
Okay,
to
that's
get
fine.
DS200s out there. I'm not opposed to it, but it would be $15,000 and it would be considered a capital expense because they're over $5,000 a piece. So we would have
They're not in
to,
small equipment.
they're not in small equipment, so we would have to
got
go
it,
to the
got it,
quorum
got it.
court to ask for funding for, extra funding
Yeah.
for that, or presented as a capital.
Well, if you don't think it's necessary, that critical, that's fine. I wanted to ask about it in the context of spending the small equipment
Yeah.
funds, you
Yeah.
know, what are the biggest priorities?
Well, that sounds to me like something that it would be really nice if we had those out there, but it sounds as if it's not a crying need in terms of the size of the sites and how quickly we can get that turned around when they get here.
And this is just, I agree with what you said. We might check with Benton County to see if we
Oh.
can purchase them from Benton County. Benton County has, I want to say she has 60 DS200s and 31 polling locations. Let me check with Benton
Wow.
County
Huh,
and
that's a
see
lot.
how that might work, because
Yeah.
when they ordered their voting equipment, they ordered it based on not going to vote centers essentially, so she has way more DS200s than
Oh, wow.
she would normally need.
Huh.
Let me visit with them and see
Yeah.
how that might work. I'll visit with our comptroller, and see if that is something that maybe we could do.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
'Cause
okay,
that
good
would
I
thought.
like that, yeah.
Worth exploring.
Yeah.
If they have equipment they're not using.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
and we
Share the
could
wealth.
use it. Yeah.
Yeah, and see what it would charge. I'll need to see kind
How it
of,
would all work.
how it would
Yeah.
all work, in regards to that. But yeah.
Sounds good. Thank
That's
you
a
for
good
looking.
idea.
Not a huge priority.
No, but I can definitely run that by Kim and ask Kim kind of what she,
Looks
what
like
she
the
might think about that.
The 2 big ticket items on here are the
Express votes. and
express
the
votes
poll
at
books.
12,000 and the poll books, how many poll books did we?
6
go-
poll books plus printers, and that's
Oh, yeah,
13,000.
printers.
And we need these for, I guess, one at a time, the express votes. Help me again to understand why we need those. What's the?
So we do have money, we've budgeted money in
For
our.
extra equipment.
For extra equipment for express votes. Every election, we set out and I say I'm gonna send 230 express votes out to the field. And then when we get done with LNA, I have 10 express votes that did not function, like had like pink screens or couldn't get it to feed a ballot. And so we have to then have ES&S come and fix it. And then come election day, we have express votes break down on us. So we don't ever want to have just enough express votes because we know there's going to be a certain amount of equipment
this-
failure. And this helps build our amount of equipment that we have to replace the ones that we know are probably gonna fail on us on
Problematic,
election
yeah.
day.
Okay. All right, and the poll books and printers, we needed to,
As a standby, when you've got somebody getting an address change,
yeah,
they've got another one to,
we're busy enough
Plug
at
people in.
enough locations that we need a second one.
yeah.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure I understood.
And miscellaneous after that. Okay,
Okay.
well, let's,
And
I'm
the
fine
total,
with it.
Have
I'll make a motion to
Okay.
approve those items as presented by Jennifer.
is it, and the total is what, to 36,000?
$36,100
Okay.
for the different ones that roughly, I mean, it could,
Yeah, it's not a-
come in.
I'll second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Let's do it, get it done, get it before
It hurts
prices
me.
go up.
I know.
Yeah.
Everything's going up.
Inflation?
Yeah. Okay, anything more on that?
Nope.
Nope.
Other business?
me.
Upcoming meetings, we've got today,
We got today's
and then
on there.
September the 7th and October the 30th.
September.
October,
30th.
August.
August the 30th.
Good heavens. I need to get my eyes checked. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're adjourned.
Okay.
I feel bad that I